How many products would you say in total did you test so far?
It will be around products now.
If you haven't tested that, you don't have anything to complain.
I can say I'm 7-figure dropshipper now, but I want to be like 8 figures.
So we're sitting here in Amsterdam. Just met up with one of my students. This one, friends, Yannick. This is going to be the first live interview. Let's see how it's going to turn out. But welcome. First of all, maybe you can quickly summarize your story after the other 2 interviews we already did. But
yes, my story a little bit. I started dropshipping 1 year and 2-3 months ago. I did a course where I learned the basics, but then I was looking to move further. I also came to you to have like a quick summary. I did 1K in my first month. Mm-hmm. When I came to you, after a few months of dropshipping, I had like 50-60K months, and now I already had a 200K month, and I think 150K is now the standard. It's now the minimum, mm-hmm. And I'm basically building on growing from here. And growing further. Yeah, at the moment, I have already done 7 figures with 1 store.
When did you hit that? That was recently, right?
That was quite recently that this 1 store had like 7 figures in revenue. So I'm pretty happy with that point in my career so far in dropshipping. And now I just want to move a lot faster.
Yeah. Amazing. By the way, when did you start with dropshipping in general?
It was April 2021. So I bought this course where I learned the basics. It was from a Dutch guru. It was a decent course. Yeah, there were groups coachings. That was nice. At a certain point, I felt like, okay, I learned everything that I can learn in this program. Yeah, that's why I started going further and looking at other people to help me. So I started in April, and I started advertising actually in August, which is pretty crazy. I did a very long time with building my store, which actually could like take 1 week.
Yeah.
But I was like really like a perfectionist in my head, and that's why it took so long.
That's a very, very basic. Like most people do this mistake.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing this over and over again, where people just feel very productive while doing the store and working on their like little logo or their product description, and then some people even insert like 25 different product pages in there to make like a general store with tons of other really good product pages. But it doesn't matter. In the end of the day, you need to. The main thing you need to understand, for you, for example, if you test a product, it's either going to work or it's not going to work. It doesn't matter if the store is amazing or not.
Yeah, that's more important than working on your logo. I think you can even start without a logo.
Yeah.
I think the font is actually nice from Shopify when you just type in your store name. So yeah, it was a mistake. Maybe I think this would work out better if you have a coach from the beginning. I had no one telling me that, so I think it's a typical beginner mistake.
Yeah. I agree. But for you currently, how much do you work? How many hours per day? What do you do? How does your day-to-day life look?
10 hours a day, at least. I actually should sleep more. But I also have a family. So I start my day waking up like at 7. Mm-hmm. I try to be at the office around 8:30. Or I just first go to the gym, and then I try to be at the office at 10, because I sometimes notice when I start working sooner and I don't go to the gym, I don't go to the gym anymore, because I give priority to the business, and all the things from the business are still coming. I just keep working, and then it's too late to go to the gym. So now my priority is to go to the gym first, start working at 10, and then I just work until like 5. Then I go home, I eat, I have some time with my family, and at 8 I start working again a little bit for like 2 hours. Mm-hmm. Then I watch like 1 hour TV, and then I try to go to sleep around 12.
It's pretty structured, but just to make it clear here, this is not how it started, right? Like in the beginning, if you had another job, because when did you quit your job?
The 1st of July, I quit my job.
Yeah, so a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
And before you actually did that, how did it look then? Because a lot of people think you need to have like 10 hours per day to actually do this. No. And yes, it's better, but you don't need it in the beginning.
That's true. You should just take the time that you have and use it wisely.
Yeah.
So I had like 12-hour shifts, and then when I was home, I still did some stuff, but I also had some days free, and on these days off, I already I also worked on my business. Like my priority was working on the business and not other things. I also skipped television. I skipped gaming just to work on the business.
Yeah.
So if I had like 2 hours a day, that was it. I was already happy that I could do that. And you just start moving slowly. But the most important thing is when you have a job that you just keep consistently make time. You consistently make time for your business. So at the evening, you just don't watch Netflix, watch different series and different episodes after another. The priority at that moment is working on the business.
Yeah, yeah. And that's a part which actually tends to be pretty hard for a lot of people because in the beginning, it feels very unstructured. And most people start doing something, they sit in front of the laptop and they know they have to do something, but they don't really know what it is. And that's why they start working on their store and doing all this bullshit when in reality, it doesn't matter. So what would you say, like how did your priorities change from in the beginning when you just started out to now what the main things are you've actually focused on?
Yeah, so in the beginning, you don't really know what the priority is. But at a certain point, when you see, okay, what I do now is making money, that's what the priority is. The priority is making money, and also now I look at my time, like is this thing, is it replaceable? So if someone else could do it like pretty easy, what I'm doing now, it's replaceable, and then I could like outsource it. That's how I look at my time now, and that's also a priority to take as much time away from me, as much as possible that I take the operational time away from me, because I just want to have like a view from the top down, and then see, okay, I want to work on my business and not in the business. That's actually my priority now and how I look at things.
So how would you say do you systemize things in general?
I write things down, what need to be done, and then I look at the priorities. I have like a whiteboard also at home, where I divide 4 parts, like what is urgent and not urgent, and what is important and not important. Yeah. And then there I write what is really important and urgent, and those things need to be done like first. Those are done. I can look at other stuff. And also planning it really like in my agenda, in the Google agenda. There's a video from you also about that. And yeah, it's a really interesting video, by the way. So I'm using the Google agenda too, and I'm really planning it.
Yeah.
And also for beginners, there's something that can help, which I used as well. There's a book called The Purpose Planner in Holland. I used it. It's really helpful to set priorities and like, what is your goal this month? What is your goal this week? What is your goal this day? And this way you plan your days, and then I think you can get a lot more is happening. The important things are done. Let's say it like that. The important things get done. If you don't have a plan and you're not planning your daily schedule, it's a mess.
So for you, whenever you plan the day and you're saying that the urgent and important things are the priority. Normally, and I've seen this is a huge mistake most people do, is they start with things which they think are urgent but are not urgent at all. And they start thinking, all right, to get started, I need to set up a company, I need to do my invoices, talk to my accountant, do this. No, you don't have a single sale. You don't have to worry about scaling. You don't have to worry about any of your supplier issues because that's not urgent and important yet. The first thing is just search for product, make a store, make the ads, do this. Like it's just a step by step. And if you go exactly about life, like you just said it, about urgent and important, if no, I just don't do it until it's done and then I can focus on the rest, you're not going to get shit done. And I've seen this a lot where it's not that people do too little, it's they do the complete opposite of the things they actually need to do.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are worrying about stuff that they don't need to worry about yet.
Yeah.
Like for instance, what if I get blocked?
Yeah.
What do I already need a Facebook structure? You didn't even made one sale yet.
Yeah.
Let's just start and see what you're going through. What are the problems, and solve those problems. And then when you're at a certain point, you can think about the future and anticipate about future problems.
Yeah.
But that's at a certain point. In the beginning, you just start and do the important stuff that can make money. And that's advertising.
That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
And that's actually, it's just the basic thing. Yeah.
And it sounds very simple, but for me, I'm still shocked on how many people don't understand this. And it's just the mindset in the complete beginning as a just the wrong one. In the end of the day, it's actually from my perspective, that's the reason why most people don't succeed in dropshipping, and that's actually a pretty good thing because most people just feel so lost that they stop and they think, all right, there's so many issues. I need to focus on accounting and suppliers and scaling and this and that. They think and they start being scared of everything, and then they don't even start, which I'm happy about. I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
for them, no.
Less competition.
Yeah, exactly. Less competition. I'm totally fine with that. In the later stages of the business, those problems actually become real. So, for example, the thing you said with the Facebook blogs, in the beginning, before you have sales, doesn't matter. After you start having sales and you don't really understand what to do else except for like testing new products, you're going to have to think, how do I stabilize the thing I have right now? And then even though it's not super urgent, in reality, it kind of is pretty urgent because you might get blocked at any point.
At a certain point, you just learn from your mistakes and you want to get things stable. But why worry about accounting when you didn't even make one sale?
Yeah.
Then you don't have to do accounting when you don't make sales.
Yeah.
So
it sounds very simple, but it's not.
Yeah, and I think the bigger problem is also a lot of people are afraid to fail. Yeah, I think with failure, it's the key to make progress. I did a lot of things wrong.
And I learned the most from those mistakes.
Yeah, you learn the most from mistakes, indeed. Yeah, not be too afraid, just do things. You will make mistakes, you will get blocked at some point, but for everything is a solution and you can learn.
Yeah.
And that's the most important, that you learn and become stronger with mindset and also with your knowledge. At a certain point, this will stack up. Everything will go more smoothly.
Yeah.
When you're consistent in that part. But just taking action.
It's just finding a good strategy and taking action. Because a lot of people, again, take action on bullshit and they just have a terrible strategy, or they really push hard on something which doesn't work, which also, it's not the best way. But after you have that strategy, just go hard and push volume. I mean, even talking about you're a really good example of a person who's testing a lot.
Yeah.
Like, how many products would you say in total did you test so far?
It will be around 400 products now. Yeah.
If you haven't tested that, you don't have anything to complain. That's exactly my point. Because most people test 2 products and they're like, fuck, I cannot make it. I don't know what's going on. I'm probably doing something wrong. Yes, probably you actually are doing something wrong, but it doesn't matter though, because even if you would do things right, it still would take a couple of products. And don't get me wrong, you don't need to test 400 products to find a winner. Like,
I think
you can find first 5.
Yeah, my 5th product was a winner.
Yeah.
So from these 400 products, a lot of products are like semi-winners, B winners, which make a little bit of profit, but just not an A winner.
Yeah.
I think with all these 400 products, maybe just 10 were like a big winner.
There we go. It's always, I need to always emphasize this is the Europe strategy. The main strategy we have with the people who are like selling in the top 5, they have a different one, which is like less mass testing and more focusing on one by one. And what I've also seen, exactly what you said, like those B winners, they're not a priority in Europe. And you should rather test a bunch of more products if you want to make it work. However, in the US, it's a little bit different. And for us, if I see a break-even product, which like makes some profits here and there, but it's not really good, I'm happy. Because I know if I do that 5 times, 3 are going to be really, really good. And they become actual winners. And in Europe, it's a little bit of a different priority because it's not going to be 3 out of 5, it's going to be less.
My first A winner, my biggest winner, I actually had another strategy. I didn't test so much because I was just really busy with this winner. And then I did some other stuff around it to optimize it. And this can also work also in Europe. And in Europe, I think it's important to test a lot. You should always have your next winner ready.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about this. Like, how does your testing process look?
Well, yeah, I have my research method, of course. Let's say for me, 10 to 15 products are ready for me. A product researcher puts them ready for me, and I pick the products. So I test like 5 a day for one store. Soon this will be more for another store. Yeah, from there we just test, like, you want to know the budgets and all that stuff? I do €6.77. For every ad set, I use 5 ad sets. Once one product has a sale...
For every product, I mean.
For every product, yeah. If one ad set has a sale, I put it to 10.77. I just skip after one day. If one product does not have an add to cart, I skip them.
Yeah.
I kill those ad sets. For one product, I maybe have like 2 or 3 ad sets left at day 1. And then I look at every ad set that has one sale. I let them run for 3 days. And after that, I see, okay, can I scale it again to €20 to €40? I always wait 48 hours between that. From there, if it's profitable at €40, I make CBOs.
Yeah.
because it's one thing or another for me that works. Or I do ABO scaling further, or I go to CBOs. But I noticed a bit like after 40 euro, the ad set on ABO level, it was a little bit down. And that's why I use CBOs, which was better now for me. And why am I using €6.77? Before I'd like above 10 euro for one ad set. But I'm not doing that anymore, so I can test more. Because I already see from the beginning if the product has potential or not, even when I use 60 or €6 and a bit or €10 and a bit. So I rather use €6 and a bit and test more products.
And this doesn't sound that complicated. And then people would say, hey, why don't I just test 100 products and 10 out of them or 5 out of them are going to be winners, and that's it. That's just the strategy of how to test it. And there's 1,000 other things which are more important than that, like product selection, making the ads, and doing all of those things. And I mean, for what we saw with you is that your first, let's actually go through the stages, because in the beginning when we started to work together, you already had something going which was pretty good, but you could not properly scale. So what changed? Like what changed since we started, and how did we tackle that?
Yeah, I started using CBOs again.
Yeah,
and that worked. Also duplicating in another way, that also worked. And also, building a team. That's really key, because someone now is, for me, is at the beginning I used someone to launch my products and make product pages, which I did myself before. So that was like big game changer. It saved a lot of time for me, and I could test like a lot more because someone else was making the product pages in the way that I wanted it.
Yeah.
And I just reviewed it. So in the same time I would make one product, there were maybe 3 products ready or 5. So that helped a lot. And right now also like the research is done by someone else. So that's again time that's away from me, which I can invest in analyzing my ads and doing product research, or like making better decisions with product research. Yeah.
I think that's exactly what we talked about the last interview. If people didn't check it out, like it's definitely worth it. But the main thing here was you were doing the right things, but the volume was just, you weren't able to do as much of that because you had so many things you needed to do.
True.
And that's like what for me is always like, if I see something like that where you do a lot and you actually put in like a lot of volume, but you don't have a team in place, it's a very easy fix. And you just get a person. It's annoying in the beginning, and like it takes a couple of months to build them, or you find something good who you can trust, like somebody good who you can trust who already has the skills. But after that's set up, it's a one-time investment of time, and that's it.
Yeah, and then someone else can do like exactly the same as you do, and they do maybe only one aspect of the business, but they will maybe get better than you in that part. So I think that's the goal also, that they get better than you in these certain parts. If you grow, there will always be a certain point that you're like stuck and you're like, okay, how do I move to the next level? I'm there again now. For me, it's now scaling to multiple stores, and my time now it's like really full. And I need to think now, okay, how can I organize my team so I could manage multiple stores? So I think it's at every stage you grow to a certain level, and then you get stuck, and then you just need to think about or how you solve it, or get a coach and someone to talk with to think about this problem and how to get out of it.
What was the reason why you wanted to actually get started?
Well, the main reason I wanted to have someone to talk with about my business and think about how I can grow my business.
Yeah.
Not really the small operational things or technical things, but more like a business coach. Yeah, that's what I also found in you. The way you were doing your YouTube videos, and it was sometimes also about team structure and how to use your time well.
Yeah.
And that's what I needed. So to get these insights more and setting priorities, I think you're also good at that. I wanted to learn this way of thinking of you. If I could choose one thing, it's setting priorities.
Yeah. Again, it's the most important part. And a lot of people, they think that's what I think. Yeah, but I can set my priorities myself. I can just think about it, and I'm going to be able to do that. You don't know what the priority is before you've already been through it a bunch of times.
That's true, and I think when you're doing everything for the first time, you get a little bit in a tunnel vision.
Yeah.
And when you're talking to someone who has been there, they can get you out of that tunnel vision.
Yeah. And it's like every other thing out there. If you watch a kid like tying their shoelaces, The first time it's going to be super awkward and weird and they don't know what to do. It's going to be better and better and better. At some point, it's going to be the most natural thing out there. And when I see a person who's crushing it from the time perspective in terms of, okay, you're already doing like 30, 40, 50K a month, amazing. But I just see a bunch of mistakes that's so easy to fix. And it was just a couple of priorities we needed to change, which worked out great. And the priorities are just crucial. And especially if you're doing this for the very first time, I don't see a point in doing it by yourself. And I did this mistake also.
Yeah.
I for the first year, almost a year, I didn't have a coach.
Because, at the beginning you just don't know what the priorities are.
Yeah.
And then you cannot even write it down for yourself, what the priorities are, right? And for me now, I know this better because I learned it also in the program. And actually this week I wrote two pages just with everything I need to do, which I now will structure and put it really in my agenda, in my calendar, and first the priorities and then the smaller stuff.
Yeah.
And this will get me out of the block I'm in right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is a really big thing of just stopping and actually thinking. Most people are just stuck in the cycle of doing. And even though they feel like they're doing something good because they are hustling, they're doing really good at their job, they're putting in the work in their stores, they're doing all of this. And it feels really good. You feel like you're accomplishing something right now. When in reality, you're wasting your time. Because to put in pressure on something which doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. You're actually not productive while you're doing something.
At all. But for you, maybe also let's talk about kind of the milestones you have hit so far and the ones which you want to hit.
Okay.
So for you in the beginning, when you started, what was your first kind of steps which you saw as your goals?
Yeah, when I just started, my first goal was a 1K day, which I had after 1 month. The goal was quit my job because I was not happy there anymore.
Yeah.
I wanted to build something for myself, have my own income, and have also the freedom to do with my day what I want.
Yeah.
It's not that I want to work less. I just want to decide what I do. Then from 50, 60K, my first goal when I started with you was 100K a month, which was there pretty fast. And the next goal was 200K a month, which also happened right now. I want to be, for the future, I can say I'm 7-figure dropshipper now, but I want to be 8 figures in 1 year or maybe a little bit more. Yeah, I want to grow fast, and I think it's possible with the right systems. I think that 1 year or 1 year and a half, I should be 8 figures.
Yeah, I mean, I can see this. We can clip this right now and have another interview a year from now. But I can definitely see this working because from all the people I've worked with, I've definitely noticed that you're doing a lot of things really well. And you just implement super fast and super quick, and you just do to implement one thing on a higher scale and on high volume is extremely crucial, because if you see that one tiny thing changed, it's on the entire 60K you did, everything goes up.
Yeah.
And especially if you have this volume of testing a bunch of products at the same time, you're going to see effects way quicker. And the cycle of seeing success, that's just better.
I know now how to get to 7 figures.
Yeah.
And I also know it will not take as long time to do the same again. It will be much shorter.
Yeah.
And I just have to duplicate my system now. I think it can go pretty quick if I do it correctly. If I duplicate the system correctly, and the system is in place, I think it can go pretty fast. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. So,
So would you say that the main changes you're going to do to go from 7 to 8 figures are specific things you're going to change about the strategy, or just more volume or more systemizing?
More systemizing.
Yeah.
I will not change my strategy. Maybe here and there, I will try something, and if it works, then it will be implemented. But it's more like duplicating what I already have and put a system in place that it can work and that it's manageable for me. Yeah, having good SOPs and a good team structure is very important, and also having good people in place.
So talking about that, how do you actually manage people? What's the workflow? How do you make sure that they actually do the things you want?
I use Slack. It's a really great tool. I want to separate my private life from my business life, so that's why I use it. I make SOPs with them, and they have to implement it, and they can text me if they really can't figure it out. If they ask me a simple question, I just ask them back, what would you do? So I want to make them think about stuff. So after a while, they were like, okay, I can do it. And if anything is unclear, then they should ask me. And then I think it's my task to give them a good answer so they can use it in the future as well, that I don't get the same question again. And also with my supplier, we work on Slack. And for my workflow, I use Trello. And the product researcher for this actually I'm using Notion, and in Notion I select products. These products are selected already based on criteria I told them.
Yeah.
From there it's copied to Trello, and Trello the VA that launches products and does the copywriting. I can see the flow, and once at a certain point I see okay it's ready for launching, and then I look at it. Maybe I change some stuff here and there, and then it gets launched. Even that part, the reviewing, I should replace that for myself. Make some things better that I don't even have to look at it. That's really what's taking my time now, like reviewing everything.
If right now, all the things you're doing right now would be gone and you would have a clone of yourself who's going to do all of that, what would you actually focus on then?
Yeah, I would have like the view from the top and see, okay, what is needed here and there. I think the most, what would be important to improve the speed in everything. So I would look at, okay, can this be more efficient? Can this be faster? Is there anything that's slowing it down? Or is there something that I could remove to make it faster and more efficient? And also like looking at the costs of everything and what can I do to make it more cost efficient? Yeah, even the media buying, like scaling and killing, I could outsource that as well because I'm still doing that. Yeah, that's what I would look at right now. And then like expanding.
Yeah.
Really, like how can I grow? How can I duplicate this? Even new business opportunities. I want to like make it as much passive as possible. I know it's not really 100% possible.
Yeah.
But I would really look at it like how can I reduce my own time and still make it work efficiently? And then I could have time like for another business opportunity. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. With you, I also feel this like very strong kind of urge to grow. Like you have this like intrinsic thing where you constantly want to get bigger with everything, and it doesn't feel like you get comfortable with the level you're at. Because in theory, could be enough.
Yeah, but I think when you're standing still and when you're just happy where you're at, I think you're like moving in the
Wrong direction.
in the opposite direction, which is not good. Standing still is you just need to grow. You cannot keep at the same level. Like you cannot be comfortable because then it will go down.
I've seen a couple of people on around the 100K revenue mark. You start basically being able to chill if you want. And you could do it much earlier, but let's just set that as a number. And I've seen a couple of people who actually started doing that. And I've seen very different outcomes, and it was very interesting to watch because I've worked with so many people. For example, one guy, he started to just travel and he had this duplicate of himself. He had his brother who was doing all of the things for him, and he literally didn't have Wi-Fi. He was traveling through places where he didn't have Wi-Fi, was checking it maybe like once every 4 or 5 days. Everything stayed on the same level. So for me, that proved definitely it's possible to outsource it to a point where not growing can actually stay on a level. However, this is very tough. That's number one. This is very, very, very tough. And number two is mostly I've seen that personally they get kind of frustrated. It feels annoying because you know right now that this thing is running, but you could get it bigger, and they feel super lazy again and super unproductive because they start doing kind of whatever they want, which in reality is in a lot of the cases not what they want, but what they think they want. And they think they want to travel. But what does travel mean? You're in the place. What do you do then? It's not travel, you know? So there's a lot of space in between where you have nothing to do. If you're like literally half a year in, what's next?
I just need goals to function and actually to be happy.
Yeah.
I think traveling can be like a reward. I like to travel a lot. That's why I also do this. But I think I would not be happy with doing nothing.
So I think that there's two different ways of chilling. And one of them is you travel, you hang out on Instagram, you do whatever, you do things. And then there is another one where you actually do things which you truly love. And if you want to chill because you want to like spend time with the family and do some kind of hobby like full time, I respect that. Because if you love to do biking, I don't know, whatever it is, and you do that and it truly makes you happy and you do that full time, like every day for hours and hours and hours, that's one thing. But doing this halfway chilling, where you just kind of like you lay on bed, you watch TV, you do something kind of like bullshit basically, that's another thing. And I think that doesn't bring you further. Because I truly respect people who want to make 10 to 20K in profit per month and don't need more. And all the other things is just like they don't need more. I totally get that. But it's only good if you focus your time and energy, which you focus so much on the business, on something else which is relevant, which makes you either happy, helps other people, helps you, whatever, but it needs to be really relevant.
Yeah, I think you should be passionate about what you do, or otherwise
Yeah.
you will get unhappy at a certain point, because you will like ask yourself, what's the purpose of all of this? Yeah, in my situation, I really like this, and I am passionate about it. Yeah, I want to grow at a certain point where I'm financially free. I want to create more time for my family as well. But then, when I'm financially free, I just want to do something again that has meaning and has purpose. Maybe not with a business, but it has to be fulfilling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I cannot find myself like really relaxing without doing anything.
The big takeaway here, if somebody's watching this and they're just starting out, is not, if I'm not passionate yet about business, I shouldn't start. That's not what was said here. Because for me, if I see a person who can dedicate their time on something and they see that their job right now, it doesn't fulfill them, and they are like they actually put in a lot of work and time, and they see I'm crushing it in my job, but it has a cap, or I don't really enjoy it, or whatever. But there's another opportunity, which is the business. I don't know if I'm passionate about it. I have no idea. I think it's better. I'm not sure. Let's see. That's a definitely better approach, and you don't need to love the thing you do to start. You just need to realize that you love it after it starts doing really well. Because believe me, if you right now make $100,000 every single month with your business, you're gonna love it. All right, it's not a question of
Making money is also addictive.
100%.
I think you should just try some new things in life. You can get passionate about it when you start to learn it. Yeah. That was also for me. I didn't know everything, of course, and I just started like, oh, this is interesting, and then I want to learn more, and I want to learn I want to learn everything, and then you get passionate.
Yeah. So it's more of a thing which develops over time after you start crushing it, not the other way around.
That's true. Yeah. For me, in this situation, that's really true.
Yeah, definitely. How would you describe the program itself for other people?
Yeah, for other people that are interested, I think you're at the right place with Michael. Why? Because Michael has a very good, clear mind, which can help you set priorities and which will point you in the right direction. Also, you have a lot of people online and coaches, and they are like maybe too nice to you.
Yeah.
And Michael just says, if it's bullshit, he will say it. It's bullshit, don't do it. And he's very direct, which I really like, because this will get you further. I would not like to get just a nice approach for my feelings. No, I want to grow in business, and that's why I would choose for you. That's what I searched. I already saw it a bit in your YouTube videos, and also in the interview I had with you first before I went into the program. I felt you had a strong mindset and like a very clear mind in what to do or what you want, and that's what I also want in my coach.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hear any bullshit or like, okay, let's try this. You can do this, but let's see how this will work out. No, but if the coach already thinks it's bullshit, he should say it.
Yeah.
And you will do that. Yeah, and that's what I like. And also, I think you have. Maybe it's not for me because I already did Europe dropshipping, but I think your strategy for the US is quite unique. I didn't hear it anywhere else. Also on YouTube, you can just learn it in the program, and I think it even still interests me because I think it's unique and it can work. Yeah, I just have my model already, and but I think for other people to start, it's a very unique strategy.
Yeah.
I didn't see it somewhere else before.
Me neither, by the way. Like right now, I'm not seeing anybody talk about it at all. It was a thing, but people thought it's outdated. But that's kind of a good thing, because whenever people think something's outdated and stop doing it, you should start doing it, because you basically go against the mainstream. Unless it's something which just dies out because of a certain reason, which in most cases actually is the case. But in this specific one, it actually did work out really well.
I did actually hear from it before.
You didn't?
And you could say it's outdated, but I didn't know it. Yeah. If you just get in the business as a new person and no one is talking about it anymore, then it can be like new again.
Yeah. But one last thing I want to touch on here is exactly what you said with like saying things directly. Is in the end of the day, if people start working with me, they don't do it to have a fun time, to enjoy the time with me. to like me as a person or get me as a friend. That's not about this is not what this program is about. At the end of the day, you want to make money by getting together with a person who already is there where you want to get to.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as that, where I will always tell you every single time that I see bullshit when I smell bullshit. And unfortunately, a lot of people kind of put the in the moment feel good thing over the long term benefit.
I think some people care about their feelings too much.
Yes.
Yeah, fuck feelings. Let's just move forward
Yeah.
and get someone with you who can point you in the right direction and make the right decisions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Appreciate the interview, man.
Yes.
For everybody watching right now, if you actually do want to join, click the link below, sign up for a free consultation session with me personally. We're going to find out if everything is a good fit. If yes, we're going to get started. If no, then not. And please, one thing I want to make clear. Everything we talked about here, it's not easy. If Yannick here says he tested 400 products to get to $1 million revenue, that means something. It means that it's definitely not going to be you buying my program, not doing shit, and then expecting money from that. It's not going to happen, okay? And it's really important for me to emphasize that, because those are the clients I don't want to work with. And for me, I just want to work with people long term, and they're not going to get my next programs if they don't, like if they don't make money through me. So that's that. So if you really understand, it's not easy. It definitely takes time and work. Click the link below, sign up for a call. We're going to find out if it's a good fit. And yeah, talk to you then.